Alright guys, TacticalRab here again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. And just when things are going so well for the CDL, they've got to bring us back down to earth again. Rumours emerging that the CDL will be returning to YouTube after Major 2. Twitch is now apparently out the window. What does that mean for the watch parties? What does that mean for all the massive growth we've achieved over the last couple of months or so? Could well be in the bin. And it's not the only drama with the game today, because Seattle Surge versus Boston ended in a very controversial manner that we shall dive into. Very much intrigued to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy, subscribe if you're new as always, I'd greatly appreciate. Met another load of you guys today at the venue, so that was just great fun again. And I won't be discussing all the series today because there was just so much that went on. Starting with the New York Subliners versus London Royal Ravens, this did feel like a foregone conclusion. In fairness, London did win the search. New York, like, their search has been a bit questionable in fairness, especially losing here to this London team. But man, London are just pretty woeful. But in fairness, Subliners, they're different in the respawns. And Hydra, man, I've never seen this before, kills a guy and then stabs his dead body, doesn't even shoot the dead body. This is mid-hard point, obviously super confident at this point, the Subliners. We're going to close out this series at this point. They won it 3-1, relatively convincing. I mean, look at the numbers here. Hydra 1.3, Skies is a 1.45. Yeah, don't know what to do with London. I know Scraps had a pretty interesting series because he had a lot of kills in the control. They didn't win the control, but it's surely got to be blow it up time for the London camp at the moment. Like, there's Harry, there's Gizmo, there's Vortex. There's so many other options they could go for this UK team. If they actually want to do a UK team, I think it would be a good way to do it. I think that a scene could well be targeted by other teams as well. After Major 2, I'm sure teams are going to make changes because there's another big one we've got to discuss here in a second with the Seattle Surge. Subliners continue their campaign. But while this was going on, this rumor started emerging. Now, this Mack Melts tweet is actually based on what happened later in the day, but it equally well applies to what we are about to discuss. And that is the potential return to YouTube. Hex said he heard about it about 3 days ago, but we'll discuss in a second whether this is valid or not. But Jacob L says from DeSoto that the COD League is in talks with YouTube to renew their exclusivity partnership following Major 2. So we could be returning to YouTube. Now, the more I've thought about this, the more I realize that, a return to some platform as a part of a kind of exclusivity partnership is an inevitability. Like, the league needs to be sustainable at all in the long term. Some form of actual media rights deals, because otherwise nobody makes any money. That's how regular sports make a lot of their money, is through media rights deals. Now, the ideal case is that either we just sign a deal with Twitch, that'll be absolutely fine, or we leave it kind of open and as a free fall at the moment, because I'm not really sure there was a deal with Twitch. We're just doing Twitch because to see if it worked better, as it obviously has. Now, if we can get a deal with Twitch, awesome. I think that's great for everyone. If we can't, then maybe the ideal world is that we probably do nothing and it's just Twitch for this season, and then maybe next season it goes back to YouTube, just because, I think what we're doing right now with all the watch parties is growing the viewership, growing the scene by quite a significant margin. Going back to YouTube, we know that it's going to nullify that. Now, okay, the Scump watch parties and the Zoom watch parties will not be able to continue in the same way. They're streaming on Twitch. CDL's back on YouTube. If that's the case, they can watch party, but only like Zuma watch party back in the day when he can't even have the stream up, right? He just has to cover the entire stream, because if CDL's YouTube exclusive, then, he can't do that type of thing on Twitch. So, the watch parties can and probably will continue, but it's just super frustrating, right? I mean, it's one of those times in the season where everything's going so well. And honestly, my belief is here that the CDL guys are probably happy with how it's going, but maybe Big Daddy Activision's coming in and saying, look guys, you got to sign a deal. And like, I don't know how much YouTube are going to pay for this. Why would they even pay any money for it? I'm sure it didn't give them a great return on investment before. So I don't know what's happening, but the rumor is that, and I think this is relatively likely right now, it's not guarantees, but it's relatively likely we'll be going back to YouTube pretty soon. And yeah, it's frustrating. As I say, I'm not sure at the end of the day how many people at the top of the COD League actually call the shots here, and whether this is like an Activision Blizzard decision from the higher ups. It may well be something like that, because I do actually think the top guys at the CDL, Daniel, Sai and Co, they're in touch with the community. They feel what is best for the scene, as I think we do. But yeah, this would be a frustrating step backwards after such a positive start to the season if this was indeed to occur. As I say, the watch parties will probably be able to continue in some way or another. But Hicks actually gave some comment on this as well. I'll just share it for you guys quickly, because Scump says, like, if watch parties are happening, it is what it is, but they probably won't be able to do a co-stream like this unless Scump was to sign an exclusive deal himself with YouTube. Maybe they'd offer him one, but that would mean him leaving Twitch, which is maybe possible down the line. Other streamers have done it. Scump could do it, and that would mean he could probably do a co-stream on YouTube, right? But for now, it might change significantly, and Hex is clearly frustrated and quite sarcastic here, suggesting that, yeah, surely the CDL wouldn't make a decision so important without consulting the teams, kind of implying that this is the type of stuff that they usually like to do.
But I did hear something like that from someone else, and I said, no shot, the league wouldn't make this decision without consulting with team owners.
Listen, if it happens, as long as we can still watch party, who cares?
Added, of course, to this story is this that happened today, which I thought was fantastic. Crimsix on the Scump watch party, baby. They brought him in. It was awesome to see this. The intro they did for him. He comes back on the stream, reunited with Scump as well. And I don't know if this is going to be the start of Crim returning to OpTic because, look, at the end of the day, Crim was a massive part of OpTic for so many years. I know that the bridges got burnt to a certain degree, but the fact that Scump's on OpTic, the fact that Karma's on OpTic, Formal's there, they've pretty much all retired now with the exception of Formal who's still playing Halo. But, you know, Crim being back on OpTic would make sense. I think it does make sense. It was awesome to see him on the stream. Hella entertaining, some of the clips I saw. Of course, I was at the venue, but I saw some clips, and Crim, always an entertaining character. So cool to see him back as at least part of the OpTic watch party. Whether that means he's going to be a full-time member of OpTic again at some point. Maybe not immediately, maybe down the line. But I thought it was nice to see these guys reunite as well on stream. You know, the chat enjoyed it. And, I mean, yeah, he obviously gives his incredible insight as per usual. Now, speaking of Crim's insight, we'll get to it in a second here because the other key drama of the day, Seattle Surge versus Boston Breach. Of course, I was hoping that Boston would win this just because, you know, I want to get to see this team play in front of their home crowd on a Saturday when their venue's pretty much going to be sold outright. So, and Surge were going to stand in their way, I thought. Mack was frying game one. It's an unfortunate caption that powered it, right? Mack is in full effect because started out so well, and then it was going so well in game four that it actually turned pretty sour. We'll see here in a second. So Surge dominate the game on Embassy. Then it was kind of funny to me because the very first round of this Search and Destroy, I think it was Mack jumped out the window and died. Then Sib challed and died. And then like Accuracy was caught in no man's land, died. And then they just went down one by one. And it was just such a pathetic attempt to take the site from Surge. I was like, oh my god, their Search and Destroy is still chalked. Like there's no way they're winning this game two. They didn't win the game two. Boston clutched up. They tie up the series. They actually dominated the control as well to take it a 2-1 advantage. And then it came a hard point that was, I mean, this was one of the most crazy moments of the season so far. Boston were leading here by an absolute mile. Like they had a good 70 point, 80 point advantage at the start of the game. Surge brought it back. I think the casters thought and everyone kind of thought that Boston had this wrapped up. But at this point, actually, Surge were in the lead and they probably should have won this game. Now, there was also some drama here because Sib apparently was potentially using score streaks, not kill streaks. I believe they meant to use the kill streak version. But I think on the screenshots, it seemed like Sib was using score streaks and it seemed like when he was kind of in time and stuff, getting points from being in the hard point, he was actually getting some ticks towards it as well. So there's an argument here that probably he had it on by accident if he did have it on at all. But, you know, maybe there's some justice in a sense that he was maybe using something that's GA'd and then they kind of lost in a very controversial manner. But that's just one thing to say. The other part of the story is, of course, the cruise missile. So this just occurred before this clip went down. But Mack took down himself and his teammate Accuracy in a very winnable position, right? Boston obviously get a free 2 kills because Mack's kill streak takes out both of them. And then Boston get the break here. Mack comes through on the flank. He gets one, but Vivid manages to clutch up and he can't get there quite in time. 250 just about on the board. And I mean, yeah, they were talking trash across the other side of the stage because it looked like Mack had just choked this somehow, throwing the series away. And as I saw the cruise missile come in, I was like, how did that kill 2 guys on Surge where it looked like it was going to come down on the Boston guys? But we'll see what it did here in a second. So Scump was looking into this. Wait a second, he says. So this is looking at it frame by frame, and I'll share these clips for you guys in a second. It looks like as it's about to touch the ground, so he calls it in here, there's these 2 Boston guys running into this room, and he's trying to get them, right? This is down by near the statue. And as he calls this in, it blows up about here when it's just like a little bit further off the ground. So it blows up at this point, and one frame here glitches and makes it look like it's kind of teleported, basically. And that's why people are confused to exactly what happened here. I think the explanation is that it blew up on the roof. It didn't touch the ground. I think it blew up on the roof, but even the fact that it killed Mack on Accuracy is crazy. So I'll share Scump's perspective and also share Crimsix's perspective because that cracked me up as well.
Oh my god, it glitched!
Oh my god, look. Why did it point that way? Oh my, it bounced off the roof.
What?
No, go back, Riley. Keep it right before this.
What?
Where's it pointing at right there, Seth?
It like goes through the ground and then it comes back. Hold on. Keep playing. What? I think the cruise glitched.
And double blew up?
I don't know what.
Like it literally.
Wait, who's
hit
calling the
roof
missile?
and-
Mack. He's
Mack.
in 6 and 7 are on top of each other.
Wait. Which?
Mack and Lamar are in art.
Wait. Do you not see who's? Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you not see?
What's at the bottom and what's
No. But I can break this down perfectly. Who's one of the green players on the right? Who is that?
I think that's Wake.
Yeah. Okay. So what happened is the missile
Hit me.
encountered his gravitational field. And Awakening's gravity from the sheer mass.
It's like a black.
So it is tough to explain exactly what's happened here, to be honest, but I believe that what occurred is this. We can see it on the full screen here. So the cruise missile comes down. Mack is trying to kill these two guys. He might have got one if this landed properly. And as you can see on the left-hand side of your screen, just about, I think it clips the roof is what it does. You guys can see where Accuracy and Mack are there in the background. They're in the bottom of the art building. And you'd think they're very much safe from this cruise missile. And if it strikes the ground here, it probably kills at least Zinni, I'm guessing. But I think it probably strikes the roof here, potentially, even though it doesn't look like it should. That might be what it did, or it like hit the ground and teleported or something. But it blowing up there apparently killed Accuracy and Mack, which doesn't really make any sense, the fact that it actually killed them there. But I think that's what happened, because it does kind of look like it blew up on the roof here, and then it spread down to the guys in the bottom and top art building. So it doesn't really feel like it should even reach that far, but apparently it does, and it kills both Accuracy and Mack, top and bottom floor. Man, that's like incredibly unlucky, and arguably a game glitch, to be honest. I think the argument was initially here that this is some sort of game glitch, which it might well have been, or there's a better explanation for this, but it's difficult to say. But regardless, a lot of frustration there, and the fact that Surge lost a series like this, I think they would have probably been able to make it to, you know, if this landed normally, they'd probably win this game 4 and go to game 5. So losing in this way was just absolutely absurd. And even I was talking to you know, to Nero and Methods after the game, and I asked them, like, you know, what do you guys think about this? And they basically just said, like, Surge got robbed here, and Zinni agreed, like, this is not the way we want to win a series. So I thought it was really respectable from them to say that, but of course they're going to take the win, right? They wanted to have it in front of their home fans, and they avoided game 5, which is very good if you're a Boston Breach fan, because that could have gone ugly, despite how bad, of course, the Seattle Surge are in that game mode. So yeah, even as Max says, keep up the good work, Activision, billion-dollar company, Tom. Actually embarrassing, he says. So yeah, frustrations boiling over, and you can certainly understand why. And even as Pred said, it was Civ's birthday today. Imagine losing like that to get double, you know, well, not double rounded, but just top 12 at the event on your birthday after losing like that. So frustrating, as Pred says, all about the bounce back. And yeah, I do wonder what their team will be going into the Sergeant Major 3 qualifiers, because it's highly doubtful you're going to get the same team of 4 there. What they do, I don't know. Whether any other changes happen, but it's a big storyline here going into the rest of the weekends and over the coming days is what happens with Pred, what happens with Surge. I mean, look, individually, another good series from Pred here. I thought the entire team played pretty well, to be honest, on both sides of the equation, but yeah, it was just that one moment in that game 4 that turned the tide of the battle. That will be remembered for quite some time to come. The final series I'm going to discuss today is this one, Florida Mutineers versus the Los Angeles Thieves. This was an absolute bloodbath, and I'm not exactly surprised. Vickle came on stage with a fedora, I think, like, obviously he's like bald because he's got the hair transplant thing going on, so they come on stage, and man, it's like, this team, what were they thinking with this roster change, man? Like, they dropped Brack for this. I mean, they got bodied game 1, they couldn't even win the search and destroy. This is the issue. The game speeds up. You've got Major Maniac and Dave Paddy on your team. Like, it's not going to work, guys. And obviously, Los Angeles Thieves are the world champions. They're not going to get top 12. It is what it is. But yeah, clearly the Dave Paddy curse, it only works against OpTic and against Thieves. No problem at all. They win the game 2 search as well, 6-4. Havoc was doing some pull-ups over here on like the gallows, but it didn't matter at all. And Thieves win game 2. They win the game 3 pretty comfortably as well. And I was discussing it with the guys afterwards, and I was like, look, was that as easy as it looked to watch? And they was like, yeah, it was just so easy. Didn't even have basically any resistance there. So, you know, we'll see how it goes. But Florida, they've also got to blow it up. These top 12 teams, man, it's not looking good. London, Florida, obviously Surge as well, also top 12. By the time this video goes live, either Guerrillas or Vegas will have gone out of the tourney as well. We'll discuss that in more detail tomorrow, but just plenty else happened. And also one of Thieves and Subliners will also be out top 8 because there's one more game of the day. But I mean, yeah, dominant performance here. I would discuss more series, but just so much happened today that we're going to have to leave it there for now. But very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care, and I'll see you next time.